Jude, a servant of Jesus Christ, and brother of James, to those who are called, sanctified by God the Father, and kept for Jesus Christ. Beloved, receive this greeting as a quiet calling to remember who you are. Chosen not by circumstance but by the loving decree of God. To be called is to be invited into a holy community. To be sanctified is to be set apart for God's purposes, and to be kept is to rest in the faithful keeping of Jesus Christ. When storms rise and doubts assail, let these truths anchor your soul. God the Father, who sanctifies, knows the secret places of your heart. He sees your frailty and still calls you beloved. His sanctifying work is gentle, patient, and wise. It does not shame the broken but restores, shaping beauty from ashes. You are kept not by your own resolve but by a keeper whose vigil never tires. In lonely nights and in bright mornings, his presence upholds. Walk with humility, quick to listen and slow to anger. Let compassion guide your hand and truth govern your lips. Care for the weak, encourage the faint-hearted, and correct the straying with a spirit of gentleness. Faith that is alive will produce such fruit, not as a duty but as a grateful response to mercy. Be steadfast in prayer, constant in love, and courageous in goodness. When temptation beckons and paths of compromise seem easy, remember your calling. You have been sanctified and are being kept for Christ. Let this hope shape your choices, giving light to weary hearts and a steady course to wandering feet. In small acts of kindness you reflect the glory of your Maker. Offer mercy where judgment might have ruled, and speak truth with love. Allow brokenness to be the canvas for God's strengthening, and let sorrow be the place where His comfort dwells. Live expectant, attuned to the Spirit, and confident that your sanctification is a divine work, continually unfolding. Embrace the ordinary days as opportunities to love, to forgive, and to serve. Trust that what seems small in your eyes bears eternal consequence. Go forth with courage, with gentleness, and with a heart wholly devoted to Jesus. Remember the name by which you were kept, and let that remembrance steady your step. Hold fast to hope, love one another, and wait with joy for the day when faith becomes sight, when sanctification is complete, and the keeping of God brings you into the full delight of His presence. Amen. Until that hour, let every act of service be offered as worship, every whispered prayer carried by earnest longing, and every small sacrifice held as fragrant incense. When you stumble, rise knowing that grace meets you there. When others fail, extend patience and seek reconciliation. Let the peace of Christ rule within you, shaping decisions and comforting your spirit. Be a light to those in shadow, a steady hand for those who tremble, and a living testimony to the faithfulness